Let's speak about Lucid Motors, baby. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I got the clothing line to prove that fact. It's not on me today, but I have it. And today we are speaking about CCIV, aka Lucid Motors. The merger has been confirmed. So why is there this huge red candle on the screen in front of us if the merger has been confirmed? This is what we've all been waiting for. As of recording this, we're down at about $38 a share, down about 33%, my friends. Keep in mind, we were in the 60s over the last few days. This is a huge drop. This here is the reason, okay? So from Reuters, Tesla rival Lucid Motors goes public in a $24 billion mega SPAC deal. Now, the reason that the number $24 billion is so important is because initially we believed that it was at $12 billion, then we were told $15 billion. Now it's coming out at $24 billion, but it's not as simple as that either. So it has a transaction equity value of $11.75 billion. That includes a $2.1 billion cash contribution from CCIV and a PIPE investment of $2.5 billion from investors. Now, the PIPE was at $15 a share as opposed to what we were led to believe would be $10 a share, as that is usually fairly standard. I just want to point out, we bet the PIPE, guys. If you got in with me, we got in at $12.86. We're beating the big boys. So what does this really mean for the company going forwards? And let's just speak about everything that's happening. So right before we do get into the video, my friends, before we speak about what is happening here, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? Drop me a comment down below. I'm really interested. What are all of you guys doing with all of your shares right now? Are you holding, buying more, selling? And please, my friend, if you aren't even new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button and join the family of investors. We're trying to get to 100,000. We're getting so close. If you are interested in joining my private Discord group as well, that is the first link in the description, my friends. In there, you get access to all of my buy and sell alerts. We did call Churchill Capital at $12.86. I got in with 500 shares. And I sold 110 of them when I was up over 300%, and now I'm risk-free. So despite all of this red, I'm still guaranteed my money. And if you'd like 2 free stocks on Webull, that's the second link. Now, one thing I'd like to point out before I do get into some more of the details. Remember this big green candle, okay, where we went from, let's say, we went from 37.90 up to 55. Look where we're hanging around. We're hanging right around, from a technical point of view, the very beginning of that huge upward move. Now, this, for some reason, hasn't updated properly, but we are literally right down here at the previous area of resistance that led to a huge breakout. So essentially, it's filling in a lot of the gaps. But essentially, the reason that it's come down so much so quickly is Lucid and Churchill announced Monday afternoon that they will combine at a transaction equity value of $11.75 billion and have attracted private investment in the deal at $15 a share. That implies a valuation of $24 billion. The private investment in a public equity deal known as a PIPE and cash from Churchill will provide roughly $4.4 billion in total funding to Lucid. I just want you guys to keep in mind, okay? There's a lot of doom and gloom right now. I mean, the whole market's red. Lucid Motors is red. Lucid is getting $4.4 billion in funding. I want to put trading out of your mind. I want to put swing trades, day trades, whatever it is, out of your mind for a moment. If you're like me and you invested in Lucid Motors, they are in such a good position right now. The valuation is so much higher, but they are in such a good position. And I want to circle back to that long-term mindset right now, okay? How many people have lost money on Tesla? Very, very few. If I bring you back to the Tesla stock chart, okay, you may all remember back here, the stock market crash where in February they went from, let's say, 180 all the way down to the 60s, high 60s. There was a huge crash. A lot of people held their shares, a lot of people bought more the whole way up, and essentially it just kept going on this huge upwards move. Right now it's crashing. Tesla has done this so many times in the past. Again, back in March it had a 60+% crash, and now it has gone up hundreds and hundreds of percent since then. So CCIV is getting hit for 2 primary reasons. 1, the valuation is completely different than what we expected it to be in the first place. And 2, the entire stock market is red, particularly the EV market. Look at Tesla, even look at the likes of Workhorse. A lot of them right now are very red. So they're getting hit from 2 angles here. Now, if we go over to their investor deck, 74 pages long. If you're interested in learning more about the company, read through it. We know a lot of what's in there. Pro forma shares outstanding, we're looking at about 1.6 billion. Existing Lucid shareholders, about 1.175 billion. That is where we are getting our acquisition value from. And if we read some of the small print here, okay, that existing Lucid shareholder number is based on fixed equity rollover of 1.175 million shares. Billion shares, apologies. Subject to increase for balance sheet cash at closing, including the dilutive impact of existing vested equity incentive awards and warrants, and exclude the impact of existing unvested and future management equity incentive awards. PIF holds up to 85% of existing Lucid equity, okay? And is expected to hold 62% of pro forma shares outstanding. So now what is fair value for CCIV? Before, a lot of us had, $50 to $60 pre-merger price targets. That was when we understood we had a $12 billion valuation. But then as time went on and we looked into it a bit more, a lot of us thought it would go up even higher. Working off of a $24 billion valuation, you would have to essentially half the share price that you initially expected to happen. So if your target was $50, your new target would be $25. Now I think that we all know Lucid Motors has a lot of hype behind it, but also for very, very good reason. A lot of you guys have probably seen a few CCIV videos already, and a general consensus seems to be that somewhere in the realms of $35 to $45 a share or so right now would be relatively fair. Now me personally, I am hoping that today we hold above $35 a share, but there's no guarantees. I want you guys to keep in mind, this has been an aftermarket move. A lot of retail investors haven't been given the option to buy or sell shares yet. They literally do not have access to those services. If we can hold above 35, I'm going to be very happy. Now keep in mind guys, that's still a disgustingly large drop and it's not guaranteed by any means. But I think if we can find a new support today and tomorrow, that is what we need to be looking towards. But again, let's just bring it back to Lucid actually being a company and not just being a stock. The funding move positions Lucid to quickly ramp up operations in the fast developing electric vehicle market, which has been dominated by Elon Musk Teslas for a decade. This is what Lucid Motors needs right now. They need capital so that they can ramp up that production. And if you go again to their investor deck and you look at the growth that they're expecting over the years to come, the numbers are absolutely huge. If we go and look at the volume we're looking at in 2026 and we look at the gross profit, it gets big very quickly. The company's Arizona plant will gain sufficient funds from the SPAC merger to eventually be able to build 365,000 vehicles annually as the company adds models in the mid 40,000 price range within 3 to 5 years. It puts them in a beautiful position. So to the long-term investors out there who are investing in Lucid Motors as a company, I know short term you're going to be down some money, it is what it is, but long term it got better. And again guys, we should have expected a very large pullback and a lot of us did, and that's why I sold my initial stake in the company, so now I'm running risk free. If things went absolutely worst case scenario, I'm still going to make 5 figures in this company at this stage. An absolute worst case scenario goes all the way down to $10 a share on the dot, which let's be honest is not going to happen. I've still made over 100%. And keep in mind guys, this transaction includes the largest ever SPAC related common stock pipe. That is for a reason. I know the valuation is much higher than what we wished it to be for our own personal gain, but it puts the company in a very good position. I want you guys to keep in mind as well, they currently employ nearly 2,000 people, with 3,000 employees expected to be added in the US domestically by the end of 2022. The whole market's red, Lucid Motors is incredibly red. There is a lot of panic right now. I think the more important thing to be focused on right now, genuinely, is your overall portfolio. Look, Lucid Motors is going to do what it's going to do. Everybody is going to learn lessons from this company. In the short term, you're going to learn that dips like this, let's be honest, crashes like this, can happen, even on the most hyped up stocks. Even on stocks where we've seen institutions, okay, the big guys, buying millions and millions of shares in the 30s, 40s and 50s. Even on those plays where the big money's getting involved, a crash like this can happen. But this is just the stock correcting itself. We thought it had one valuation, it has a different one. It needs to come back down, it needs to regulate a little bit before it can start to make sense again. But again, look at all those institutional investors. Every single day, millions of shares being pumped in. And again, a lot of us even bet the pipe, guys. I mean, they're paying $15. We got in at the 12s. Look at your overall portfolio. Understand that what's going to happen is going to happen. Stressing over it, watching it every minute of every day isn't going to change a thing. I believe in Lordstown Motors. I've done my research into the company, and I ultimately believe that if I just leave that in my portfolio for 5-10 years, I'm going to make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of percents of returns. Because I understand what I'm invested in, I'm not worried is the point I'm trying to make. If you watched all the way till the end, you are a true legend. I really do hope I was able to give you some sort of value or insight in today's video. I know it's a tough time for a lot of people right now, but hopefully there is a lesson to be taken away here. If you did enjoy the video, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, drop me a comment down below, and please, my friend, subscribe if you're new around here. And again, if you are interested in joining that private Discord group, that is the first link in the description, my friends. Lots of juicy info in there. And if you like those free stocks on Webull, that's the second link. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you for another video very soon. Peace.